Okay, this is question two of the evaluation. How does your product engage with audiences and how would it be distributed as a real media text? To start off, I'm going to talk about my target audience for my magazine. My target audience are generally younger and alternative underground music lovers, ages around 15 to 30 years old. My magazine would aim to target both gender demographics evenly. However, the majority of the artists I cover in my magazine would most likely result in a higher appeal to males rather than females. Um, Demographic grades would be around C2 to A, as many younger people would be students with less disposable income. But it's also possible that people with higher incomes would be attracted to my magazine, so therefore I included the A demographic group. Um, my primary target psychographic group are explorers, as these are the type of people to enjoy alternative music and can relate to and enjoy the content in my magazine the most out of everyone. My magazine would primarily offer audiences information and perspective using uses and gratifications theory. Um, Moving on, my mix of artistic and simplistic image styles would appeal to my target audiences because they would offer alternative styles to mainstream magazines, which is something that they would be into. And the font choices would mostly follow regular magazine conventions, however, with different artistic spins for each issue. So, like, the artists have their own, like, house style font. Um, and the article content and motive address in our articles would consist of relatively laid back and casual language and try and restrain from typical formal language used in a lot of magazines seen. And this would help appeal to our younger audience and give more of a entertaining feel to our content, further appealing to target audiences through social media pages such as Instagram to promote upcoming magazine content, as well as give behind the scene behind the scenes views to create more engagement with our audiences and create more hype for upcoming issues. And this is something that they'll be engaged with a lot because social media is something that is quite popular with my target audience. Member of my target audience with me today to see what she likes about my magazine.
So based off the front cover, I really like the house style. So like I quite like how the blue and the white stands out a lot against like the black background of the front cover, and how the model's face is like in the center, so it really stands out. And also the fact that the webs on his shirt are white as well, so it helps add to the house style and kind of make it all come together. And then I also really like the font, which is the artist's name. And I think that these cell lines are also like not too much, and they kind of just like fit perfectly, as well as the free poster cell line. Yeah, I think it's quite nice, and the image is quite modern looking, and the lighting that is used also matches the font that is used. On the contents page, I quite like the variety of images because like they're all quite different, and there's black and white images, and then there's like images with like a brighter background which helps them stand out, so all the images are quite individual and unique. And then I also quite like how he's stuck with the house style, and the font at the top has remained the same as the one that was on the previous page. Yeah, it's quite well done and laid out easily, so it's easy to read, and there's bigger boxes on the side which like stand out and make me want to subscribe to it. Okay. Then on this page, I quite like how the font's quite big, and it's something I've never seen before in a magazine, so it's quite nice to see. And it really helps you look at the image, and you can see that there's a guitar in it, so there's like a musical element. And I like the style of writing because it's quite casual, and yeah, I think because the font isn't that small, it's easy to read and it's quite eye-catching as well, and he's stuck with the house colours and the blue lighting again. And then for this page, I quite like how the style of image has changed a bit, but it's still the same artist, and the fonts and the house style still remain the same. And I like the layout on the right page because it's something I've never seen before, and it's quite like it helps the image that's on top of the other two stand out. And I like the free poster because it's quite different, but at the same time, kind of, I think it's the same image as the one on the first page of the double page spread. And I think that's quite nice because if it's someone who really likes this artist, then having that image is quite cool because it's from an article and they'll have a poster of it, and it also has the magazine name on it in bold in the top corner, so it doesn't really take too much attention away from the model, but it's still visible and still bold, as well as the name of the artist.
So moving on to the distribution of my magazine, for the chosen publisher for my magazine is Music Republic Limited. This is the publisher for Clash magazine, which is a magazine which mine draws a lot of inspiration from. However, I believe my magazine offers a more modern style and more interview-based magazine style, as opposed to Clash's more minimalistic and review-based magazine. So I think this is beneficial for the publisher, as they have two slightly different styles of magazines to target different target audiences. Furthermore, the publisher is a much smaller company compared to the large conglomerate publishers that publish magazines such as Q or Rolling Stone. This would make it more likely for them to want my magazine, as my magazine offers a different style to their existing magazines. Um, my magazine will be distributed to most established magazine and bookstores around the world. On top of this, my magazine will be available digitally in order for as many people as possible to have access to it. Um, Availability on platforms such as iPads and iTunes would help push my magazine into a more modern category. And a subscription offer would also be available for magazines so that it could be sent to people's houses like the traditional subscriptions.